and I'll do it again.
No way.
Lost her mind.
Wow.
Okay. No, seriously, I hated it. And I don't have quite enough marbles to tell myself not to do it again. See, I don't want to make another comic, but the parasite. So for my last semester of college, a new college, not the one I talked about in this video, I specialized in comics. And I chose this specialization because it came easiest to me, unlike the other options. I've always loved comics and manga though, which is funny because I never really saw myself being a comic artist or an artist in general. We'll talk about that another time. Okay, so it's my last semester and I have 14 weeks to finish an 8-page comic with a minimum of 32 panels with front and back cover included. So remember that 32? I ended up doing 52 panels. And you remember those 14 weeks? Yeah, that was actually 12 weeks because we needed to have 10 copies printed by the week 14. And we needed all the time possible to print. Foreshadowing. But 12 weeks still sounds like a long time, right? It all started off so well though. What happened? Oh, right. That backstory. Long story short, my program is a 4-semester course and I started in winter semester, and in order for me to literally graduate right now thank you. No, let's go back to it. In order for me to graduate, I'd have to do all my semesters consecutively. And by consecutive, I mean one after the other, no breaks. As you can imagine, this took a massive toll on me. Physically, mentally, creatively. I had actually reached my breaking point in my 3rd semester. After that, I fell numb and developed an autopilot state of being? I don't know, I'm pretty sure that was my body responding to all of the stress. So yeah, my first half of the semester was in fact amazing because I was in that autopilot state. For the first time, I was actually on top of everything. I went to all of my classes, which is a really big deal in college. Please ignore the birds in the background. I can't particularly tell them to shut up. I was doing great and felt good about myself until that mid-semester break. I made the biggest mistake I could have ever made. I took a break. What? Are you for real right now? No, seriously, to this day, I have feelings of regret that I actually took a break during that time because I never took a break during my mid-semester break. I was always working. I was always catching up on assignments I was dangerously behind on. So because I was so ahead, I was like, why not take a break? Little did I know that break was what my body needed to come out of that autopilot mode. And from then, everything around me that I ignored came crashing down. I was exhausted, and a singular week after working for an entire year non-stop was not enough rest for my body. After that break was over, so was I. I couldn't work on anything. And as time went by, I grew to hate my comic. So let's finally talk about the comic itself. The story I went with is based off of a story I've been wanting to tell since 2021. You've seen me draw 2 characters that are actually from that comic, Hannah and Lila. There are other main characters such as Morgan and Maya, and so many others in my Google Doc files. I wanted this 8-page comic to be like a pilot to a show. Before, I was actually very scared to even start drawing out the story because I thought I wasn't ready. So I wanted to test myself to see if I can actually do it. Okay, so the process went as follows. Story writing, visual development, panel layout, line art, details or color, and the cover. And anything else you wanted to add in there. You know, I added a title page, completely unnecessary. Story writing, done. Visual development. All that really is figuring out what your characters and backgrounds are gonna look like. And here are mine. Panel layout. The hardest part. Now this step was the hardest for me because our professor, aka our editor, would have us change around the scenes and pacing as they saw fit. Now to someone who's not open to constructive criticism, this could be incredibly frustrating. But I've had 4 years total of art education, so I'm used to it. Then I caught art block. It was quite possibly the worst time to catch art block, and I was stuck in that art block for 3 weeks. 3. Please keep in mind this was after the mid-semester break, so 7 weeks are gone already, and I went 3 weeks doing nothing. While fighting off this art block, I made another mistake. I lined all my pages in order. Let me tell you why that's a bad thing, okay? When you line your comic pages in order, you will reach a panel that you will either find challenging to draw, or you'll suddenly hate how it looks. I suffered from the latter a lot. I started to hate everything. Guys, I probably changed 50% of my comic on the spot while I was lining. Don't do what I did. If I had more time, I probably would have gone over my page layout a second or third or fourth time. I started to hate how the panels were set up, the composition of everything I did 3 weeks ago, and in the midst of all that, my art style changed. Before comics, I focused mainly on illustrations that required a fair amount of detail and shaded seldom with pure black, so that's how I started. Over time, I realized, this isn't gonna work. I was taking way too long, and I eventually developed a comic style, which is what you guys see now. Seeing this change, however, to put it plainly, fucked me up. I don't handle change very well, so when I saw how I was drawing now versus then, I had a bit of a panic and stopped drawing completely. Yeah, that's right. I ran away from my comic and instead drew other things, like my shorts. Yeah, so those shorts that you saw from the beginning of April, that was me coping. With the help of my friend, I managed to get back on track in a sorts. No. I am in my second last week, and I only focused on one class in this video. While all of this was going on, I had multiple classes happening, and I had to prepare for my grad show as well. So once again, I had to press the brakes on my comic. The deadline was long gone. Remember, it was week 12. We're in week 13. The goal was just to finish the comic at this point. My professor, my sweet, gracious, kind, merciful professor, gave us about 3 major extensions, and my class and I were so behind. The last extension surpassed the last day of school, guys. In the end, yes, I did get it done, but I wasn't able to print my comic myself. The same friend that helped me continue, was out of the kindness of her heart, bless her, she printed it for me and handed in all 10 of my copies. Thank you again. Okay, Caroline, we listened to the whole video. Where's the comic? The comic is right here. Okay, gosh. This is Oasis. This is the story I would like to officially release one day. And if you would like to read my dumpster fire for some reason, I have it uploaded to Webtoon. Link in the description. Please be easy on me. I know some things look wonky and the ending is but for any aspiring comic artist like me, I just want you to know, you gotta start from somewhere. Thank you so much for listening to me yap. Like and feel free to hear me yap some more. Bye bye.